Just about every day now, I see a story, a segment, a headline about impeachment. This is kind of strange because there is no reasonable prospect of President Trump being impeached, certainly not this year, and probably not next year. We'll get into that in a moment. So I'm looking at my Sunday New York Times, cover the book review, impeachment. Andrew Sullivan reviewing 2 books about impeachment. The New Yorker just happened to run a profile. The New York congressman who could lead an impeachment charge against President Trump. That's Jerry Nadler. Nate Silver, he's got that 538 site. He had a piece on the midterms could set Trump on a path toward impeachment. And that seems to be the hook because after the Democrat won the special House election in Pennsylvania in a district that Trump had carried by 20 points, not a good sign for the Republicans, no question about it. I was watching Hardball. There was a banner, impeachment talk heats up. So the notion here, and I think it's kind of wishful thinking on the part of the president's detractors and Democrats, is that, of course, now the Democrats are going to win the House. Well, maybe. And then Nancy Pelosi, if she's the speaker, will swear everybody in, and they'll take control of the committees and the investigative machinery, and they'll draft articles of impeachment. In fact, Slate drafted some articles of impeachment. Oh, wait. That was last May. That's how long this impeachment talk has been going on. Now, it seems to me that whenever you talk about impeachment, and I get it, like it's good for clicks and ratings and it makes people who are opposed to the president feel good. You come down to the fact that all it takes is for a majority of the House to agree on whatever are high crimes and misdemeanors, which, of course, as the founders intended, were supposed to be serious crimes or transgressions, but is not above politics. That was certainly true with Andrew Johnson's impeachment after the Civil War. Richard Nixon would have been impeached and convicted, undoubtedly, over Watergate. Bill Clinton, of course, impeached by the House, acquitted by the Senate over the entire Monica Lewinsky affair and the lying. But the problem there was largely a party line vote. And if Democrats were to try to impeach President Trump largely on a party line vote, I believe not only that it would fail, but they would face the same kind of backlash. And so, you get into an interesting discussion because, you can say, well, was there collusion with Russia? Well, Robert Mueller hasn't got much evidence of that yet, does he? Was there obstruction of justice? For some Democrats, they just don't like the president, think he's been a lousy president. They don't like his temperament. They don't like his style. And so they are trying to appeal to their base to make impeachment at least thinkable. But interestingly, you have some Republicans warning that, some of this is, of course, to motivate their voters, that if Democrats take the House, there could be impeachment as a way to getting Republicans to turn out. Lindsey Graham, friend of the president, but on this issue, he has said that if the president were to fire Bob Mueller, that could probably be considered an impeachable offense. So everything I'm saying, the calculation would have to be reset if, in fact, the president decided he had enough of this special counsel and he fired Mueller, or he got somebody to fire Mueller. The White House says that's not happening. I don't see any prospect of that happening. It could happen, and that would, of course, change the calculations because then you could build the case. Again, doesn't mean it would be successful. But, so much attention now being devoted to impeachment, when you have the New York Times book review jumping in on this, and when you have MSNBC guests going on and on about it, it kind of gives the impression that, well, this is on the table. It could happen. It could happen any moment now. It could happen next January. And I think that is just pretty far-fetched at this time. That's why I wanted to talk about it and write about it. If the political situation ever shifts where it's something that actually is debatable, well, then we should cover the hell of it. But right now, it seems like kind of wishful thinking on the part of people who don't like this president.